Ready with me for my overnight OB call shift. Call is going to look different every single place you go as a CRNA. It completely depends on the facility that you work for. I work for a large academic medical center in New York City with an extremely high volume of obstetric patients. It is bananas in there. For me, that means taking call is basically a night shift, almost like when I was a nurse again. I go in at 7 p.m. I'm gonna clock out probably after 7:30 because we do handoff at 7 a.m. to the next team. And we're usually up and working the entire time. I'll be working with a pretty large team overnight. There will be 2 attending anesthesiologists, 1 anesthesia resident, and 1 other CRNA besides myself. Try to give each other breaks to lay down if we can. You may or may not get that. Obstetric anesthesia is really unique to other types of anesthesia because we're not only managing patients in the operating room getting surgery, but we're also managing patients on the labor floor, which means instead of being responsible for knowing about 1 patient at a time like I usually am, I'm responsible for having at least a ballpark idea of what's going on with over 29 patients at a time. We're managing epidurals, not only placing them, but troubleshooting if they're not working quite right or giving extra doses of medications as labor progresses. And of course, planned as well as unplanned C-sections. I actually really like doing anesthesia for C-sections because unlike normal surgery, the patient is typically wide awake. Unless they've had one before, they're often very nervous or scared. So it's nice. You can talk the patient through the entire process and really just transform it from a somewhat scary and even possibly traumatic experience to something more pleasant and positive. I like to take their cell phone at the end and take pictures of them and their baby as long as everything's fine and stable, and just kind of normalize an experience that maybe they weren't expecting. I also started to really enjoy placing epidurals because when you see that patient get immediate relief from their labor pain and then have a really positive laboring experience, and then you get to follow up later on in your shift and take it out in the end, it's so rewarding. I also feel like the learning really never ends in OB, and I love that it's so applicable to so many of my friends and family's questions. Make sure you come back to see how it went.